Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. More wild card madness as I continually flick back and forth between things that I think are the right thing to do. It's a tricky one, this. Really, I'm actually struggling with one or two of the decisions I need to make. I've done something of a U-turn with this draft. You can see it on the screen. Not 100% set. But I think this feels more like the direction I will ultimately go, and you can see where I've done the big about turn for the eagle-eyed amongst you. Bruno's gone. I brought back in the Liverpool boys, Gapco, Etikite, despite my Isaac fetish and being ready to bring him in. But the big question is, I am twisting my question. The thing is, what I'm doing with this wild card is twisting myself into a pretzel for something I don't even know for sure I'm going to want to do, as in have Isaac. Will we actually want Isaac in a couple of game weeks' time? We don't know. The man is a fantastic player, but he's also made of glass. He could come on for 30 minutes in the next game. I don't think he will, by the way. And do a hammy, having not played much football, and then I'll have done sort of this original draft that I showed you a few days ago will be a complete waste of time. I've got to play the averages and the odds. This is the team. I'll just run through it as it is on the screen there for you. I'll just take you through the spreadsheet and some of my sort of deeper thinking, I guess. So yeah, Petrovic in goal, comfortable with that. Lacroix or Menaz. I've gone Lacroix because of the money saving. I really like Lacroix. And the fixtures are good. And I don't know, it's just me. Maybe I do need to get over it. I'm just not keen on defensive double ups. Have brought in Chalobah. Really like him. Cucurella was another consideration, but there's more money there. Talk to that a bit more in a second, but he's been going really well. He's got a bit of DEFCON in him as well. Sinisi, he's just a no-brainer, isn't he? He's just been amazing, just been absolutely amazing. As to be fair, have Bournemouth, and it'd be silly not to. It'd be silly not to at that money with the points he's bringing in. DEFCON every week, lovely. Gapco back. Going to talk more in depth on that when we go into the spreadsheet. Semenyo, the lad has just stepped up this year, hasn't he? If he can just get his finishing right, he'll be one of the top scorers in the in midfields across the across FPL this season. Just would like to see his shooting boots on a bit more, but he is now the talisman of that Bournemouth team, and they are playing very well. Grealish. Yeah, he's just a man reborn, isn't he? Man reborn, and who would have thought Everton would have been one of the most exciting attacking sides in the Premiership? Football, folks, football. Still going with my little Rodri dream of what I think he will be. But I tell you what, even if this is just for this fixture to have him, and I guess I could go Rangers as well. The way that United centre of defence is, he could have an absolute field day, just picking up the ball and breaking up the play and driving through and knocking balls into Haaland. It pains me as a United fan, but we're a little bit better this year. We could easily, we do it every now and again, step up in these games. But that centre of midfield, I'm scared, folks. I'm scared. And who's going to be in goal for us? Anana's gone. So are they going to debut our reserve keeper and the new lad we've got? Honestly, neither of them can keep crosses. He's a better stop stopper, but he is not good on crosses. Yeah, which brings me to Haaland. Haaland could have an absolute field day. Etikite, yep, I know. Where's your Isaac gone? Planning for a game week or two's time. Hear me out on this. I'll talk to it in the spreadsheet a wee bit more. And Gyökeres, been tossing up to be honest with you between Mateta and Gyökeres. If I have Mateta, not Gyökeres, I could be booking myself a transfer in a few game weeks' time with the Arsenal turnaround in fixtures. And with Sarr injured, how is that going to affect them? Could be that what makes Mateta the talisman, doesn't it? So Very tempted, especially given the fixtures, to go with Mateta. But I think I'm going to stick with Gyökeres. Forest have not been defensively sound. Arsenal now, I think, maybe with a little bit more disruptive attacking threat with Eze causing some fun. I don't know if Saka will be back. Looks like Gyökeres will be on penalties as well. Think I will go him. As I say, I think now that I'm going to, basically, if I do go Isak in a few game weeks' time, I'm effectively pre-booking transfers, which I never like doing. You have a plan, but you don't want it to be sort of set in concrete. Decisions there still. But I think it will be Gyökeres. And at the moment, on this, I think I've got it a little different in my spreadsheet because I didn't quite update it fully. I've got Burn on the bench. Benching dilemma. Do I actually take out Grealish or Rodri and go with the back four? Or indeed, when you see Anderson, Leeds at home, Leeds 1 goal in 3, feels like an almost guaranteed clean sheet. So here we have benching dilemmas. And I've got Elliott on the bench there. Oh God, I'm keep looking at that. That would be some back five, wouldn't it? There could be some massive points in there. 5-2-3, anyone? And Elliott. So I know Elliott hasn't kicked a ball for Villa yet. My gut feel was that this guy could be just based on the eye test. Every time I've seen him play for Liverpool, he just always seems to be coming on and making something happen, getting a goal and getting an assist. And sure enough, I went back and looked at his stats for last year, and he made some. I think he only made about 20 odd appearances. Only a couple of them were starts. Most of his appearances were off the bench. He is, for that money, and this was substitute appearances mostly, and even on that, it was a return every 3 games. He could be a monster. I'm taking the chance on him. He can sit third on the bench until I see him getting full games, but Villa have got some good fixtures, and that Villa attack needs a shake-up. So another one where I'm going to trust my gut instinct on this one. I have him third on the bench and ready to come in, and on some very good fixtures. We'll see. Could be a big differential when it happens, if it happens. I'm sure it's going to happen. Of course, it's going to happen. When am I ever wrong? All right, going to look at the. Let's look at this. How this stacks up in the spreadsheet. As you know, my objective is trying to hit a 70-point average. I am way up that at the moment. As I said, I took my swings in game weeks 1, 2, and 3. They all failed, so now I do have to go into boring spreadsheet land and try and get a solid team out on this wild card that is going to start pulling me back up towards that 70 average, and hopefully, a nice, certainly a top 50k finish, but ambitiously still totally feel that the top 10k finish at this stage of the season well within reach if I steady the ship now, play my numbers. Now, when I say I'm playing the numbers, of course, it's still early days. Really early days, and I still maintain, as much as it's nice to see these sort of numbers in here, until we get 7, 8, 9, even 10, it's a 10, 11, 12 game weeks in that this really starts to be more consistent. Hopefully these numbers are good, because if I can achieve these numbers, happy days. The reality is it won't. We need more data, we need more game time, and just to see how these averages are playing out, and some of these anomalies that we're seeing at the moment, particularly on that defensive side. As I say, I went down about on the FPL site the other day on the video, 20 odd players before I got below a 5 average for defenders. Now, DEFCON is obviously playing a big part in that. I'm still very tempted. Am I brave enough to start looking at playing a back 4 or 5? I tell you what, anyone that was brave enough to go there early, they're the ones that are doing really well. And I did take a look at some of the top 20 players in the world. Some of them are going there. The brave man to do it, though, isn't it? That's what it has to say, literally 5-2-3. Yeah, 5-2-3. Frightening. But it could actually be the way to go. Am I brave enough to do it? Not yet. I think we're going to be looking at a halfway sort of house for the time being, making sure I've got the right defenders lined up to move into that system. And if the spreadsheet after 4, 5, 6 game weeks is saying that's the way to go, gonna have to do it. Anyway, let's talk through this a little bit more. Just bring it up so I can actually see it on my screen. Okay, so always remembering, and this may need to change given the way the points are starting to stack up at the moment. Generally, I like 4 for my keeper, 5 average for my defenders, 6 for my midfielders, and 7 for my strikers. So Petrovic, 4.5. There's a mixture of fixtures there, but enough there for me to feel that he should hopefully be able to keep on that side. I do have 3 million plus in the bank with this draft, which I do need for certain things. So there is a lot I could do here to strengthen in areas. So I could easily turn Petrovic into a Rea, or go back to a Sanchez. I'm going to stick with Petrovic. I've just got a good feeling there's going to be save points in there, and I think maybe 1 or 2 clean sheets. As long as he's hitting that 4 average, I'm happy, and he's there at the moment. Sinisi, yeah, what was 8.3 average for a 4.5 million defender. Come on, it'd be crazy not to. Um, Brighton at home, yeah, I think there's a very good chance there. I say, even if they do concede, he's going to get the 4 points. Keeps the clean sheet, gets lucky enough to get an attacking return. It's whole happy times. And generally, those fixtures don't look too bad, do they? Right out really until you get to 10. They're not awful, not awful at all. And I'll have some decent bench rotations as well. The Lacroix, yeah, fine. Again, Defcon King, and next couple of fixtures very good, and I hope we'll have a decent rotation there for the Liverpool fixture. I wouldn't put it past Palace to keep a clean sheet. That defence is pretty good now that they're keeping Guehi. I think that is key. I think that is an absolute yes, like a new signing for them. The fact that they've managed to keep him at least until Christmas, and the fixtures pretty good again, right out till 10. Have brought in Chalobah. Would I have liked Cucurella? Yeah, but Chalobah's certainly pulling his weight, and strong averages there. And the fixtures, not bad. Few, well, Liverpool obviously tricky in there, but you can't have good fixtures every week. Talking about fixtures, the one that I just can't fix, and I think you just have to accept that game week 5 is really awkward. I have played with this to try and see how do I do the subs just to make that game week 5 look a little bit better. And I've just come to the realization. I actually even tried saying, what would a free hit look like? Even put a decent free hit together for it ain't great. If you're a wild card in 5, it's awkward as hell. It is just a bloody pain in the arse game week. And I think sometimes we just have to accept we can't have good fixtures every week. Because by and large, I'm saying this draft doesn't look too bad going out, and obviously there'll be transfers going forward through 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which will strengthen it up, bringing some better fixtures where things are starting to look a bit not so good. That game week 5 is unfixable. Honestly, I have played with it. It's just going to be one of those game weeks that there's not a lot you can do with, and just try and get your best team out. And as I say, as we've often seen, sometimes it's those game weeks that look terrible where your best points come in. Midfield. Okay, let's talk about this. Gapco. Let's talk about Gapco and Etikite. The Burnley fixture is too good to ignore for Liverpool, especially as I've got no Salah. Is Isak going to get any minutes at all, or even 30, or even 20? I don't think so. I don't think they'll put him on the pitch at all. I don't think they're going to risk a 120 million player for 20 or 30 minutes against Burnley when he has had no preseason, no proper preseason. Didn't get any minutes for Sweden at all. None so far. I think they've got one more game. See what happens there. That might change my mind. I don't think they're going to risk it. I don't. I think Liverpool would go up apoplectic if Sweden played him and he got injured. Can you imagine? And I don't think they'll risk him in this game. So where does that leave me? Obviously, when he does start to play, if he doesn't play in that game against Burnley or get any minutes, he is clearly I can't see a million years where he will even start um, in the game against Everton. The Merseyside derby. He may get some minutes in there. So I think to a degree, Etikite and Gapco are safe for the next two, which are two pretty decent fixtures. I kind of think I need to have them. Need to have them. The question then becomes, and it is, I know I'm potentially booking myself for transfer, but will it necessarily be to Isak? I'm saying I've been twisting myself into this pretzel. Do I just have Isak now, or just sit him on the bench, or I'll start him? I thought, no, it was influencing too much of my thinking. I think let's go with what's in front of me and not what we know is definite. And Etikite and Gapco have been superb. It's Burnley. I've got to play them. I've got to have them. And I think because people are steering clear of them a wee bit, I don't think there'll be a big difference. I think they'll still both be fairly highly owned, but the ownership will have definitely gone down. So they become a little bit more of a differential, I think, for that fixture, and indeed the Everton home fixture, because Everton have not been. They've been playing very, very well. I really like Everton at the moment, but Everton not really keeping clean sheets either at the moment. Not like they were last season or towards the end of last season. So I'm going with them, even though, and I've got the money in the bank then to if they are looking like high minutes risks by the time we get to Everton or indeed Palace, the money is there to go to Isak or in another direction. And maybe that could be Bruno. It could be bringing Isak in. But just have to try. And this is again the risk. I have to roll a couple of transfers. I think my bench allows me to do that, though. I think my bench will allow me to do that. But as you say, I've had shit awful luck with injuries in these first 3 game weeks. So there's risk there. That's where I'm at, anyways, with that. Going back to the midfield, Semenyo, yeah, as I said, the guy's just been fabulous. If he can just sort out that finishing, he's now the talisman. He's a lock-in, an absolute 100% lock-in. Yeah, I know. Rodri, I'm following my gut here, guys. I am taking a swing with this one. And like I said, that Manchester United midfield, honestly, my Sunday league team from 30 years ago could run through that midfield. We had midfielders there that would make a mockery of them. It's just awful. It's just there is no good pairing there. There is no good pairing there. And depending on how the team is set up, I don't know. I'm scared. Very scared. But I might as well take advantage of it. Of course, United could easily step up. They do do it. They do it from time to time and surprise you, but they don't do it consistently. Mm. And it could just be one of those days. So I am going to go with Rodri. I think he's pretty much a banker 4 points. But there could be an attacking return or two in there as well. Could be Hall. Could be Hall. Could split to Rangers, but I'm going to go with Rodri. I'm going to trust my gut on this one. We'll see. Could be egg on my face come next week. Grealish, yeah, I mean he's just the man reborn. Man reborn. It's lovely to see. Actually, I always liked Grealish when he was at Villa, and then just City just broke his game down. Paying pet ball. So it's really enjoying sort of seeing him been rejuvenated. Villa home. Villa have not been great. I think it's a good fixture. I think it's a good fixture for Grealish. He's on fire. And you can easily see him keeping his assist run going, but maybe he might pop in with a goal as well. Tough fixture next week, and going forward, yeah, not too bad. There's some good fixtures in there. And as I say, I've got Ekatike, Haaland. Made my Haaland Salah choice. Say what we will, Haaland is getting 3 or 4 decent chances every match. Man United at home, new goalkeeper potentially. Can't defend set pieces. Defense getting run through. It's like someone walked over my grave there. And Gyökeres, and that's the only one now. I'm just, those Forest home, not a bad fixture, I think. City home, not necessarily a bad fixture. Not necessarily a bad fixture. Newcastle away, Newcastle defending well. But then look at that, West Ham, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth. Um, decent fixtures, and obviously if Saka's back, if Eze's settled in, that could be where I want to go with one of my transfers. By 6 or 7 is to bring in potentially Saka or Eze. So we'll see. It's the usual jigsaw, guys. It's the usual jigsaw. And the bench at the moment, I've got Rodon on there at the moment, 4 million as opposed to what I had in my screenshot of the team, which has Anderson. Still thinking about that. And he's yellow flagged. That 4 million could be useful, and I quite like that leads defence for home fixtures. So he just could sit third on the bench if I do go with Rodon instead of Anderson. Could sit third on the bench, and any home fixture at the moment, I like Leeds. Not so much away from home. But yeah, he seems like a lock in. We'll see if that yellow flag disappears. Otherwise, that will become Anderson, which is what I've got in my team at the moment. Spoken about Elliott, Grant, Burn, and Burn benching dilemma there as well. I could take out Rodri or Grealish, I guess, and put Burn in there. Wolves have not been good, have they? Anyway, talking on the numbers, so again, and I really stress this every time at the moment, I have to obviously fill this out. It shows a very, very healthy average of 74 points. The averages are there from all those players of what I would ideally like to achieve, because obviously who wouldn't like to get an average of 74 points a week without captaincy? That is not realistic. That is not going to happen going forward. But I do think the team in itself gives me a strong base to start with, that look as though we can, hopefully keep towards those sort of returns on a weekly basis. And then as players start to fall off, do my usual, have I got 3 returns in 5? Are they hitting their averages? Who's in my watch list? Who do I bring in to sort of keep massaging and trying to maintain towards that 70 points average? It is not realistic. If I average 74 points a game week for the rest of the season, I would probably win FPL. I am not going to win FPL. I would like to finish in the top 10k. I think I should hopefully hit that top 50k. There's a long way to go. It's a marathon, guys. It's a marathon, and I just kind of have to now took my swings in 1 and 2, particularly with me free hits and my bench boosts. They didn't come off. Now I need to settle into boring dead spreadsheet mode, get a good baseline down, and start now massaging players in to sort of try and keep those averages towards that 70 and try and hit that as consistently as I can. Fingers crossed. I think that's going to be close to what I'm doing. That team there. There are absolutely players I would like to have in there. I'd like to have Mateta, but I would like to have Mateta, but who would I leave out for Mateta? I guess I could take out that minute's rest with Ekitike. But Burnley, no, you have to target that fixture, don't you? You have to target it, and of course it's going to end up finishing 0-0. We'll see. I'll leave it at that. What do you think? Always open to suggestions, as always. Let me know what you think in the comments. But in the meantime, international break will be over in, where are we now? Monday. It's Monday. 5-6 days. We'll be back into the fun. Take care. Have fun. Play your own game. Do not panic. I will be back with any adjustments in a few days' time after the final internationals. But I think that's it. I think that is an almost lock. See you soon. Bye-bye.